It's thick.
funny?
But I think the EC oughtn't not have called off their press conferences because they did the last at 9:30. We've been here the whole night, and we are not even paid to do this work. So they should be updating us every 3 hours.
Sure.
Throughout the night, because look, the nation is on tenterhooks, and with the last press conference they did around 9, they said about 60-something% of the collated results were in the polling stations. By midnight, all should be there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this whole idea of moving ballot boxes was not really necessary. And the truth is that, you see, I don't even think this manual collation they do is really necessary. All right, because as I said, I had people in polling station clusters who gave me results in less than an hour. EC should be able to get 40,680 results. They should know who's won. So
I'm sure they have an idea as to.
My point is, look, the presidential election is one election.
Yeah.
You have 40,000 polling stations, 40,000 presiding officers. They all have results. Are you telling me that in an age of all that we have, you cannot put all that into one system to tell you who's won the election? That you need to break it down into the collation they break down for me, fine, for detail. But the truth is that even the US, they're able to know who's won by dawn.
Yeah.
And they are much bigger. Okay, so, and if, look, this is not necessary for the country. This whole, look at Peter McMahon, this whole let's go to collation center. And you see, this is the other problem. Once you start saying collation center, people say we do recount, all kinds of things happen. Everybody, 40,000 polling station results being added together is not something that's rocket science.
Yeah.
All right. So if a media house can put 200 people on our budget, they should be able to put, and by the way, EC has 5 people per polling station.
Yeah.
And there's internet connection everywhere.
Yeah.
So why are you waiting to go and amass? Do
Yeah.
you understand? The guy has voted. He let him send it to a central system. The server should be shared. All of us can see it. You should know the result of the presidential election latest by midnight.
Yeah.
Bernard, I'm telling you that they know.
No, I'm talking about,
they have
you
an
see,
idea.
this is the issue.
Yeah.
They meet and say, EC should announce results, media shouldn't do it, and they do all these things that they do so that we want to follow the process. Okay, and now you have people not bringing the results in, and everybody's just sitting on tenterhooks.
Yeah.
All right, we don't need to go through this.
Yeah, but I found what Mr. Peter McMahon said very interesting, because MPP used to tease the NDC of not being able to collate its results, and said that, oh, they are going to the election again. We're going to beat NDC hands down, you know, and they will be lying to their followers once again that they had won the election, when in actual fact they didn't have the technology, the personnel and all that to collate the results. So MPP is much advanced as far as collation of results are concerned. I mean, from what I heard from him, he is now saying that they couldn't announce that ahead of what the EC is supposed to do. But in times past, in times past, MPP did that, and everybody bought into it. And various media houses even started projecting some of those things before even the EC came out. So whatever the MPP has could all even be put out there, and they can call it that, provisional results from their angle, while we wait for the EC to officially come out. Okay,
Very
because
important.
I think that what President Mahama or former President Mahama has done is to walk to his, strong room, collation center, and he's projected a certain trend. I'm sure he's sending a message across.
Look,
I mean, the MPP can also do that.
Guys, you're seeing swing constituencies go green. You're seeing deep blue as in central go green.
Yeah.
All right, the trend is very clear. There's no need to keep
delaying.
And the process, for me, it's not even the delay. The process itself needs reform. The process needs reform in the sense that you need to have a central presidential.
But this is a reform that they carried out.
That's why he's saying we need reform, because you
reform
can't,
after another reform.
Yeah, but you
Because
can't run.
this is the first time we are using the
but Larry,
regional collation centers.
You can't run what
I am
is what is perhaps the most expensive election in the history of this country.
In Africa.
And not in Africa, I'm just saying in this country. And not be able to have a sense of the results for the public 10 hours after the polls have closed. Then what did you spend the money on?
Yeah.
It means that what you spend the money on is not efficient.
Yeah.
And that is what everybody is complaining about.
Yeah.
That this is where you prove to us, because look, 4 years ago by this time, we were at a certain level with results.
Yeah.
The process is supposed to be smoother, supposed to be an improvement. And if you listen to most people, they had anticipated that at least 5 or 6 hours after the close of poll,
We will be getting
we
something solid.
would be far gone with
Yeah.
some of the results. Here we are, polls closed at 5. Well, it's almost 5 a.m.
10 hours later.
and the EC is struggling to put out results for the general public. I dare say they've not put out 10 constituencies.
No, they haven't. And you see, even 8 years ago, this delay you see in constituencies
That are
big and with issues.
yes.
And then even by this time, getting to 5 a.m., 6 a.m., they're about declaring it. Everybody else would have. But not to see that 8 years later, most of the country, we don't have anything coming from the EC.
Yeah.
It's shocking. And yet they've done press conference every 3 hours.
No, but leadership, has changed hands. 8 years ago, it was.
No, but 4 years
But you
ago.
would expect an improvement over as you move forward, not to go backwards.
Well, to be fair, we are just one night.
Yes.
This is the first night.
No, but Bernard, the fact that is one night.
I know what's interesting.
That's
The two
not
political
mean-
parties both told us that they would know the results by today. That's
But-
the assurance we got.
But Bernard, as we sit here, we know that the two parties know.
They have
No,
it.
they know the result.
Yeah,
So how come the EC hasn't told
Which is
them?
exactly the point. If we are being, and if we want to be honest with our audience, the two parties know.
Yeah.
Because they all run very sophisticated collation systems. So how come, are we not saying that the parties have figured out how to collate results faster than the Electoral Commission of this country?
Meanwhile, the EC has more people at the polling stations than them.
Than
EC has a presiding officer, a name reference verification officer, a name reference book officer, a verification officer, 2 ballot paper
paper,
officers.
yeah.
5 times 40,000.
But for me, what is significant is that President Mahama has been able to, sort of show his whatever he has as far as
His collation.
his collation is concerned, by showing pictures
He
and
released a
videos
video, yeah.
and so on.
Yeah.
Now,
in a strong room.
MPP could also help by doing a similar thing if they believe in the numbers. I wouldn't want to go to bed this morning feeling that our MPP of all parties, doesn't have results.
Numbers?
The numbers. Okay? As I said earlier, they've always been out there teasing the NDC, portraying the party as,
Being inefficient with results.
exactly. And so, for the first time, if they are saying that they are now relying on the EC, that is a bit strange. But things
Whichever
happen.
will wait it out. But it's also safe to say it's disappointing with this lack of progress. But all the same, we will await the results
I'm
as
just-
they
okay,
come
sorry.
and try and make some sense out of it. But at the moment, some of the numbers we've seen will seem to support Bernard's earlier modeling of what is going to happen in the Greater Accra. What we've seen from the Western region does not portend a change in fortunes from what will happen in Greater Accra. Asin perhaps Central Sense lays a marker for
What we'll see in Central.
What we could see in Central.
In Poho.
We have it in Poho
And in secondary.
secondary. We haven't yet picked up any of the Bono results
Yeah,
yet.
not yet.
Or the Ahafo results, or the other regions, the Northeast, the Savannah, the northern and then the upper regions as well. And it's interesting. Even in Greater Accra, has there been a Greater Accra seat declared yet?
Not that we
No.
have
So
yet.
is it that they are not collating or it's taking time?
Yeah, I mean, because if I'm looking at my numbers
Well,
here,
Greater Accra will have one coming in soon. Probably your area coming in soon. So
Bernard, so
yes, probably
Guan has 19,000 people, just 20,000 people. 10 hours you can't declare Guan. Akachi North has 20,000. Busa South has 21,000. Adaklu 22,000. Achimsredu 22,000.
These are small constituencies.
Banda 22,000. Yoyo, Lambusi, Akrofo, Sene East, North Dai, Bolgatanga East. But if you can't declare 30,000 votes after 10 hours in these constituencies, we have every right to question your efficiency. The EC must come and answer to us.
Because the number of constituencies declared is too small.
Yeah.
Yes.
And who is declared it?
I mean, if you were complaining about the big ones, you know, up until Swami, which is 100K, you know, and there are a lot of really big constituencies. We can understand those. Bimbila, Kwadaso, Tamale Central, Chumanwa Bieja, Ukaikwe South, and Swama Dueji, commended Negua Fume Brim, Utu Senya West, New Jabing South, West Central, Fansiman, Bibiani, Arian Super Kwai, Swami, Wasam, and Fi East, Koliklote, Fija, Kwabre South, Krowo, Ododo Diotema East, Asanwase, Ejiso, Ho Central, Ofori Krum, all the way up to the king of them all, Dom Kwabenya, and his friend, Ashaima.
Yeah.
Ewutu Senya East, we would understand. But not for about, there should be about 30 constituencies that by now, they should have been able to figure out and at least give us provisional results for. Up to at least Damungo or Nanton, which is 40,000.
Yeah, it's a very strange...
With the system that they run, this is I would say it's, but I don't call it straight job.
You know,
I'll just think
usually they'll say he should just take MPP out of his misery.
Yeah.
Do what you have to do. You know, just do what you have to do.
But see, I mean, years ago, would have had Swami, you know, coming, Ovary Chrome coming, Subing coming, Menshia.
But your
coming.
constituent, your reporters on the ground, what are they saying?
well, they're still collating. They have a quarter or a half at best. They don't have
it must
the
be a very
full-
slow process.
Yeah, very, very slow, tedious process. I mean, you saw Nashika, she just had a constituency of about 30,000, just about how much, 10,000 or so had been done. I mean, pretty slow.
Very slow.
You know, and we're in touch with all of them, and they are sending us what they have, which is a quarter. If you're lucky, you get a half.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's
So
it's
how
a
helpful
problem
has
one.
this regional coalition centers been to this process?
Yeah.
You recall people
Yeah.
had issues
Yeah.
with it. That listen, send everything to national, so that the big guys here could now take the numbers and enter the process. Sorry, and enter.
The figures that they have.
Yes, what they have. Is that no? I mean, the thing should rather be done at the regional, and regional is becoming an issue. So maybe what should be done is let's do the two processes. Let them be doing whatever it is, but
Yeah.
then also send whatever, you know, pink sheets you have, send them to Accra, so
Well,
that
let's see.
you get it.
What we're going to do now is to go around the country and see the pace at which these coalitions are happening across the country and see where constituencies have got to in tabulating the figures for the EC to declare. We'll start a bit with the northern region, go to the mid and come down to the south in a bit. But we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll start going around to see where the various constituencies are with the coalition. Don't go away.